Hello and welcome to this episode of the Cosmic Cafe podcast. Joining me in the cafe this morning is Hayley Page-Smith. She's calling in from South Africa, so we're having an early morning together. So she is an emissary for the One Love vibration. She is naturally blessed as a channel of pure love, and she's there for anyone seeking spiritual guidance. She works along with deep soul trauma release. She visits loved ones, she world walks on the other side and provides attunements to a whole plethora of healing modalities. She, for me, is just utterly fantastic. When I met her at a networking event, I was like, this is the woman I want on my podcast because she lives in love. She is the baseline of where all of us who are weaving in the golden future are going to be very shortly. Hayley, welcome to the cafe.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's so funny just to hear you say that. Thank you so much for having me. I feel super humbled and blessed to be here. Oh gosh, yeah, it's easy to see that on my website, but to hear somebody say, like that's a lot.
You're a pretty
Thank
amazing
you.
woman.
It's a work in progress, right? For all of us.
We're all perfect and a work in progress.
Absolutely.
Hayley, before we sit down and have our conversation, Bob, our magical waiter, comes over and takes our order. So it is 7:15 in the UK this morning. So I'm going to start our call with a double espresso roasted tea cake. What would you like to order from Bob
Oh
today?
my gosh. Okay. I'm gonna have a black coffee and I'm going to have a cappuccino.
Cosmic, you can have what you want.
Absolutely. That's why I'm having a cappuccino. Okay. And I'm having a blueberry cheesecake because I can have dairy and I can have wheat and I love it. So that's it. I'm choosing that.
When Bob comes on our cafe, a previous guest has ordered a Walker Cow cheesecake with violet flame drizzle. Would you like a little violet flame drizzle with your
Oh my God. Does it not match the blueberry? Absolutely. Yes.
energetically
The
charged
violet
blueberry
flame
sauce?
drizzle. That's interesting because I am attuned to Shamballa and Shamballa is the violet flame. So how did I not think about that?
I will ask Bob
Oh,
to go away in his true barista style and prepare these cosmic treats for us this morning.
excellent.
Hayley, I have introduced you, but I'd like to know a little bit about you, about your journey, and how you got to doing what you did, because you were trained in so many amazing modalities, Reiki, Shambhala, which is a multidimensional healing system. You just channel all the time, and it's just people can't see this on the podcast, but she's literally like a column of white light. It is really
Oh
beautiful. So
no.
over to you, my love. Come on, tell me a little bit about yourself, your awakening, and how you got to do what you're doing now.
Okay, I'm really just doing now what I did when I was little. And so I come from families, both on my paternal and maternal side, that are very gifted and spiritually gifted. So they can see, they're seers on both sides, even though under the radar. My grandmother on my paternal side was very gifted. She was also a death doula. So she would be this, oh my God, she was fierce. She was one of those fierce witches, who they navigate the earth plane and they take no nonsense. It's like they just blister you if you're just not being your most vibrant self. They will take you down so many notches. She used to do that with a look. And I was one of her favorites. And I think it's because she knew I couldn't harm a fly. I was just like that child, and she knew what my gift was, and it was to touch. So touching and yeah, and just feeling spirit so powerfully through me, and just loving. I just always felt like I loved people so much. I used to cry, like it just. Even now, like I have this thing where I just like, if I'm talking about it, my heart is so wide open that I just love people so much, and it's not coming from anywhere other than just source flowing through me, and I cannot contain it. And people don't really understand it. And, so it's always just been natural for me. As a little girl, my mom said when I was like 3 years old, she used to take me to this clinic because apparently I had TB glands, which turned out I didn't have, but for 6 months, every Wednesday I had to go to the clinic for an injection in my bum. And so we here in the clinics, it's in those days it was apartheid, and so there were lots of black mamas who had their babies on their backs, and my mom said she would have to lift me up to each baby, and I had a very particular thing that I did. I would cup their faces, and I would kiss them on their forehead, and the mamas then realized every Wednesday that something was happening, because they would immediately they saw me, they would take their babies off their backs and they'd hold their baby. So, and I remember that. I remember their eyes. I remember holding them and this flow of energy through me. And I never stopped doing that. I never stopped. I've always touched people. I would just know, it could be the man standing in the checkout ahead of me, and I would know that I just have to touch this person, and I'd find an excuse to just, oh, you dropped something. Is this yours? Just so that I can that energy can pass.
We get told off in the UK for doing that.
No, exactly. This is what yeah, and I think I would just be so like, I'm so sorry, is this yours? And just like my way of it. So just to touch them so that whatever needs to transpire happens. I never knew, I could always just feel, and so that was my journey. And then of course my life took a different direction, and but spirit will have this thing where it nudges you and brings you crystals, brings you books. The Celestine Prophecy was one that was such a game changer for me, like in the 1995 or something. And it was where I saw people who can see what I see, like in the books, like how he was talking about the light around plants and things like that. So my journey's been very much with just my spirit guides. I was not allowed to be with other psychics, and all I wanted was to know, like, can other people see what I see and do what I do? And this other thing, Lexi, is like really like weird, not weird, but this was my life. So around like 12 years old, I had a very strong shift. So I, at this stage already, was levitating off my bed at 6 years old, at 9 years old, having crazy experiences. But my spirit guide, who is Athena, then came to me as Laura, this very serene, gentle woman in this blue dress, and she had this red-brown hair, very similar to your color, actually. And she'd come and she'd come to me, and she was just, so I saw her. I thought everybody saw her. And so when I walked into my room, and I know this is like, a lot of people don't know this about me, but when I walked into my bedroom and closed my door, my room was not a room. It had no walls. Beings were flying through. It was filled with magic. Like I cannot describe to you how magical it was, and how comfortable it was, how comforted I was by my room. That if I walked in there, and I thought, when everybody walks into their room, that's what happened. So I never spoke about it, but I'm super gullible. I am very innocent on that level, where I just accept everything, nothing, especially to do with spirits, that never scares me. I am super powerful in my protection, and with who stands around me, who supports me, my celestial family. I am so 100% like trusting in them, that nothing like that scares me. I'm far more fearful of human beings than I am of spirit. So I'm far more comfortable there. And I thought everybody's bedroom was like this. And I only discovered, like when I had a sleepover with a girlfriend, and this was when I was 14, that no, I was like, oh, wait, why does your bedroom not like have the magic? And she was like, what are you talking about? And I was, oh, okay. And then I was a little, stunned. So my life was a lot like that. But I've only ever done Reiki, been attuned to Reiki, and Spirit brought me that so that I can reveal my truth in the world in a way that was sort of accepted at the time. And that was 1998. And then I was attuned in 2001. I was 8 months pregnant with my daughter. I was attuned to Shamballa, and that was, for me, just it just was like, that just blew my mind. That was everything for me. The 12 dimensions. So, and I have to mention also that I did a course in laughter therapy, so laughter yoga. And laughter yoga was because I have so much fun with people, and I love them so much, and laughter, I love to laugh, and that was, those three things were the only things that I did with anybody else. And otherwise I channel naturally and all that other stuff.
Oh, beautiful. It's you can see when your channel as well, it's really, really beautiful. And I was just laughing to myself when you described your bedroom as this kind of magical portal and gateway, and I can just imagine it's kind of like a bit like we have a quite busy train station. It feels like a train station, kind of people coming in and going out, and these beings flying around. And it was making me laugh because one of the cards I pulled this morning at my morning practice was portal, gateway to another dimension. So I was just like,
yes,
thank you for answering my cards, my love. I think when we're children, if we are encouraged or not interfered with in a way that puts us through a system that takes away our magic, we see and feel a lot more. And I know from my experience, I come from the matriarchal line. Apparently are quite gifted, but it's always been that's been quite suppressed. It's been known about, but quite suppressed. And I'm the one who's decided to break the chain. I'm the one who will, get the cards out and let's go on. Let's have a little natter. And like you, I tend to channel into the more higher dimensions. I don't tend to do kind of psychic work and mediumship. I just channel what comes through because that's where I naturally sit. Totally lost my place.
You're talking about the gateway and
the gateway and the portal, but as a small child, my bedroom not particularly, but that I saw fairies in it. Used to have fairy tea parties.
Same.
I'd come convinced I could fly down the stairs, and I've tried it. So when I was like, how did I do it? I know I flew down the stairs. So I think then we get our magic taken out of us because we're put into a school system that doesn't suit us, where from the love of our parents, they want us to do well in this human world. And you're one of the world walkers who are starting that revolution of these gifted children that started to come through. And we're now seeing a huge amount of that. We're kind of trailblazing in the sense that everything that you say to me is perfectly normal. That sounds a very normal childhood.
Yes, that is.
But for many, it isn't because they're in front of their iPads and whatever else that they do. And these magical children that are coming through are being kind of suppressed, which I always find devastating, that they're given an interactive screen to play with when actually they should be in the garden, when they should be outside in nature and creating their portal in their bedroom.
Yeah.
But I wanted to pick up on the Reiki point as well because it really made me laugh. The social acceptability of Reiki, and that's why I did Reiki as well, because it's socially acceptable. People understand the word. And did you find the second you got attuned, because I went all the way up to master level, that every attunement you got something else, and by the time you came, if you do teach Reiki, and I do teach Reiki now, and I find it very difficult because the Reiki I'm teaching isn't what I practice. It's so much more, and there's my healing room we're in at the moment. It is like Clapham Junction with all these energies coming in. So did you find your healing kind of transformed and morphed really, really quickly outside the guidelines?
As soon as I was attuned when I was attuned to Reiki, I had a beautiful, amazing experience. Saw my Reiki guide. He was massive. He just came like right around me. I was like, okay. he was literally wrapped around me, and a very male vibration for me. And it was amazing. It was amazing. I loved everything, my hands, everything. It was like a really beautiful activation. And that I felt it so powerfully. The lady that was with me, she never felt anything. And I just feel, you know, I went in, I didn't even know what Reiki was. She just said to me, one of my dear friends, and she said to me, let's go and do this together. She said, Hayley, it's going to be brilliant for you. I think this is more for you than for me, but let's go and do it. And I was like, okay, let's go. What is it? And she goes, you'll see. And I'm like, okay. So I had no preconception. I just sat there. I was just, again, like I am, very much present in whatever needs to flow. And then I have this thing where I'm very good with being still and observing and feeling. So I'm big in my feeling body. And that was just, so I had a beautiful experience. And then that opened me up. And then, of course, like, it was just like 2 years later, yeah, it was 99 actually, I got the Reiki. And then 2 years later, I was attuned to Shamballa. And that was, for me, I cannot tell you, because Shamballa is a lot about letting go of the social conditioning and how powerful you are with what you say is instant. So it amplifies. It also, what takes an hour with Reiki would take 10 minutes with Shamballa, because it's the 12 dimensions. And so it's very fast, but there's so much it offers. And so I loved Shamballa. And then to, of course, introduce in my community. Oh my goodness. Even bringing Reiki into my community is like deep breath, because it's very Christian, and I come from a very, very Christian family. So I was that special one that's gonna go, okay. I mean, I don't know if you had a similar experience. You're also very Christian family.
Sorry, yeah, very, very
yeah.
strong Church of England. Yeah, what I
Yeah,
do is,
yeah,
not sure
yeah.
we agree with what you do.
Ooh, yes. So, but didn't you also find that when you were just seeing yourself so clearly, and then realizing that you cannot be attached to a dogma that is so restrictive, and any space that can harm innocent people, like they burnt the witches, and innocent just for using herbs and things. So when you know something, I don't know, and does it sit right with your being to still continue and perpetuate a system that is not all loving? And spirit is supposed to be all about love. And how do you get away? That is, I should just stay away from that topic, because there's so much abuse in that topic. It just, with the people in it, the pastors, the priests, just the way they manage it like a business, and how people who are so desperate and so in need are the victims, and continue to be victims of people who practice greed in the name of spirit or God.
And I had the very similar conversation actually with a friend over coffee in an actual cafe about how churches weren't created from the original teaching. The original gnosis, that the knowing of Christ consciousness, is pure love, that we are love, we come from love, and we will return to love. And our job as a human being is to bring that love into the earth, to anchor it in, to shift our vibration. And my frustration is that there was Yeshua, Jesus, Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call it, and his divine partner, Mary Magdalene, the union of two, divine masculine, divine feminine, to create Christ consciousness. And then the church, through the patriarchy, have twisted, turned, belittled, you name it. We can go right back to, kind of Saul of Tarsus, when he started writing as Paul the Apostle, that it's just totally bent and twisted the actual message, which was your love, having a human experience, and having that human experience, you're going to go back to love. So can you be love while you're here? That's, for me, is the absolute Christ consciousness. And we are battling and battling to get there. Once again, battling's the wrong word, but we are striving with direction and purpose. But I get you, it's the same with any system. For me, it's the same with religious systems, political systems, education systems. They're no longer fit for purpose because they contain the human and try and contain the soul. We should be releasing the soul to have that human experience. And it's just where we are at the moment with Pluto in Capricorn, the last 3 and nearly 4 years now, the thumbscrew's just tightening. It's enacting and playing out once again everything that you and I have been through for millennia. Just I feel now that we're at a tipping point, that something will change. Staying in the now, but there's that inner knowing that the tipping point is closer than we think, but we still have to go for it. We still have to want it enough.
I feel like the tipping point is within you. The tipping point is within me, and not so much that it's a global thing. I think it's everything points to you as a reflection of the divine, that you are constantly and consistently unveiling the bullshit so that you can live in peace, in harmony, in joy, and in love. That is it. And so we're consistently moving towards it. And I feel like that tipping point that we feel is it's our own inner compass that is saying, yes, choose love, choose love, choose love. That's your true north. And as long as you're doing that, you are, we are reflections of the earth also. And what's happening within me is happening with Mother Earth. And so how can I best serve her? How can I best serve my journey here? How can I best serve my brothers and sisters on this planet? Can I best serve them by being angry and horrified by what's happening in this world? Do I best serve them by hiding away and being fearful and spreading more fear amongst my family, my friends, etc.? Or do I just make the decision that I am love? I am love. I accept that. I am enough. I am enough in every way. And every day, in every moment, I have a choice. It's either love or fear, because the two cannot coexist. So I'm either choosing love or fear in every moment. And as I'm saying this, it is challenging to always, because I don't always nail it, Lexi. I just sometimes I'm like angry, and when I'm in that anger, I have to just let it spew and do what it needs to do, and then I need to see it, and it always humbles me and brings me back to, wow, okay, step back and let's look at that. I'm fantastic at apologizing. I'm fantastic at going, okay, that didn't work. I'm very clear. And I think that becomes your moral compass, and going, okay, I lost my shit and now back to love. You always have the choice to go back to love. It's not a one or. There's always the third one that goes, I fucked up. Forgive. Go, okay, that was not a great move, Hayley. That was not a great move. Right, okay. Gentle with myself, forgive myself. I don't know if I'm sure you know about Ho'oponopono. It's like my best friend.
Just thinking that as you were saying it, I was like, can I remember it really quickly to quote it?
Yeah.
And I think for me, if you do lose your temper, if you that's it, I think it's okay, because we have to still remember that we're having this human experience, and we've got this love, fear, energy kind of tug of war going on, and occasionally we have to let that emotion out, because if we don't, that's for me is when we get the disease in the body, because we're suppressing who we truly are.
Yes, so absolutely.
Yeah, I do lose my temper occasionally. I often blame it on the fact that I'm an Aries with Sag rising.
Also an Aries, right?
it's a healthy expression of emotion, because emotion is energy in motion. And yes, we can apologize for it, but I don't think we should berate ourselves for losing it, because sometimes, just occasionally, it's justified. But it's an everyday choice, isn't it? It's an everyday choice.
Yeah.
Where are we in love? Are we in fear? And there's the
Right.
proverb, I think it's this, I did it when I was doing my Zen yoga training, that, which wolf do you feed? If you're
Yes,
looking
yes.
at
Oh
two
no, I
wolves,
was
which
just
wolf
sharing
do you
that with a
feed?
client yesterday.
Exactly. Do you feed the wolf that is going to rip you limb from limb and feed the fear, which is what our systems are geared up to do, or do we feed the wolf, that is pure love? And occasionally, you might throw a snack to the wolf of fear, but you really kind of focus on the wolf of love, because that is what's going to bring us through. But we have to remember, we are souls having this human experience, and we can be frustrated by the human experience. As long as we return back to that kind of 0 point love of the now, then it's good. We all lose our shit at times.
Yeah, yeah, no, no,
And
absolutely. No, it's
spectacularly as Aries, we lose it
no,
spectacularly as
darling.
Aries.
Oh, my husband used to say fireworks. Like he'll say you just go from 0 to boom, and I'll be like, that's right. And then just to, yeah,
Yeah,
but the idea is not to stay in that space,
no,
obviously, because
move
that's
the emotion.
toxic. Yeah. No, it's
Yeah,
it's important to like really pull back and to view it and to go, yeah. I think that because when you can be so clear with yourself about what just happened, that's where our lesson is, and that's how we can become more and more divine in our expression. So you want to minimize the, so that can you can just always respond in love, and pausing helps.
massively.
Pausing helps. Yes.
Massively.
Yes.
And the technique I've been taught and teach or everyone, that, whatever's happening in the world, drop it into your heart. Just take that 5 seconds and go, is that my truth? Is it not my truth? It's not your truth. You just discard it, and you walk on. You don't be like when I was very much kind of in my kind of childhood, I was the explosive firecracker. I didn't think. I was taught to count to 10. I never counted to 10. But it is that sense of just drop it in. What's going on? Is that right for me? No, move on. And it's a practice that, it seems really radical, but it's so simple.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. No, it isn't. Look, like you say, we are human, but I think that's all part of it. It's our expression and how we want to express ourselves, and what expression is going to be a beautiful vibration that we are releasing into the world to help the world. Or yeah, and so
Yeah.
always making the right choice for ourselves.
And it's so important now, because I know you, like me, you don't really read the news. We kind of know what's going
No.
on. I don't
Mhm.
engage with it whatsoever. But for me, whenever anything happens, and inadvertently we always find out somehow by someone talking to us about it, or we'll find it popping up somewhere. But it's choosing to see love in the whole situation, not choosing to be polarized, not choosing to be divided. And I think when we talk about that tipping point of switch, it's almost as if I can see a huge panel, and you can see everybody's switches being flicked on, which is their tipping point, which then the collective goes, oh, okay. And it's the power of that energy. And we go, this is what we're doing. But the one thing I'm seeing at the moment is this deep need to be divided, this deep need to be polarized on various topics, which is fueled by the wolf of fear, also known as the BBC and the media. So it's or whatever you have in South Africa. I guess you've got a
Oh, we
national
have
wolf.
BBC and the media. We have, I mean,
BBC's
it's
everywhere.
global, isn't it? Al Jazeera, you name it, we have it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's all fueling a fire. And I think as we're recording this, we're going into full moon on Monday, so this will come out on the Wednesday. But that is the full moon in Gemini. It's the full moon of Gemini communication, Mercury, the quicksilvered messenger. And it's really, the astrology is really asking us to be polarized. And we have to go, oh no, I refuse to do that. I'm going to stand in my truth, whatever your truth is. So as we're talking, I can really feel these energies starting to come through. It's going to be a powerful end to November, I believe. Feels.
Absolutely. Yeah, it does. It's going to be super, super powerful. There's going to be such I feel a major activation happening with this full moon. Like the presence of so much light, and it's going to be really, really transformative. So that's my feeling, and that's my feeling within myself. And yeah, I really feel that. Yeah,
and we're on a huge cusp of transformation globally as well. Yeah, powerful. I'm looking forward to 2024, whatever that brings.
you know, every year we are looking forward to the next year,
I
and
know,
it's crazy. It's crazy. It's like we all wait for this, like the end of the year, and this big, and globally, yes, energetically, I feel how the energy, and I'm sure you do as well, feel this build. It's really just the collective expectation of exhaling a time period, like a year, and then inhaling what they are all hoping for. So it is just collectively that energy can shift worlds. It really can, because there's so many people going, oh, thank God this year's over. And so we're really hoping, and that hope has a very particular vibration and what invites magic. And so, you know, and then we've experienced a lot of a lot of crazy years. So so I would say, you know, let's just inhale love, let's inhale joy for the world, like just that, without any other expectation of anything else. Because if you're inhaling love and joy, you are opening portals to invite that magic for so many people. So yeah, I just love, peace, joy, man. That's always what I want.
Yeah, which is, you know, what we all want really deep down. It's that removing of division. And you and I mean, you shamanically walk between worlds, but when we're here in this human body, and I know you spend a lot of time not really here, right, but as we're walking between worlds, we're seeing things that no longer resonate with us. And I know we both run our own business, we both walk in the 3D in a very 5D way. We transform lives differently against societal expectations, and that in itself can be really difficult, can't it? Because we'll have, I know we were talking about this earlier, we'll have the nagging of somebody else to tell us how to do something.
Yes.
As we move forward, even in the now, and thinking about as we move forward in this now vibration, it isn't going to serve anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's not. It's just
But it's really kind of watching and seeing things play out that will no longer resonate with us, and how you and I were talking very much kind of about how we run our business. We run it very heart-based.
Yes.
It's all about being in peace. It's all about being centered. It's all about being of service.
Yes,
for energy, for
an
energetic exchange. But it's not about milking the system, shall we say, to create something that is materialistic, shall we say?
Yeah.
So I guess we're kind of trailblazing the way of running a business very, very differently. That's not in the standard unique way.
Yeah. Well, yes, I'm in a space with myself, and I know, like we just mentioned a little earlier, thanks for the the heads up. So I have since taking care of my mom. So, but I have to just backtrack a little bit, because my whole existence, I think, I've always felt like I'm not really here. You know, like I'm moving through space and time with different people, at different stages in my life. And there's always been this part of me that is simply observing. And I don't know if you've also just had, you know what I'm talking about, right? I know you see you nodding. So it's almost like, and then I used to find it really hard. Like everybody would just get this world. They would get the socially conditioned stuff and whatever. But because I've always just been so heart-based, and it made me gullible on a level, and very innocent in how I just love people. It's easy for people to take advantage of me, but it was always challenging for me to navigate the system. So I hated school, hated it, and it just didn't fit in with the rules. And it could be because I'm also Aries, and I'm Libra in both my rising and moon sign. So I buck against any system. I don't do well in a system. Couldn't work really. I used to get fired because because I would stand up for somebody. Like if anything was happening, and I would very easily use my voice to if the boss was being mean to somebody, that I would stand up and say, but that's, you cannot talk to her that way, and and then, oh wow, you're fired. And I'm like, yeah, okay, then that's just my experience. And I used to walk away and go, oh, okay. And I don't know, like socially just didn't quite get things. Still today, I sort of look back and I go, oh yeah, I get a lot more now, but I still don't feel like I have to participate. I'm not participating in the expectation of this is what it means to be a woman. This is what it means to fit in. I have my own life. I'm experiencing it as myself, as this incredible supernal being, and I choose to flow as that. And yes, it makes being human really challenging for me, because it's hard to feel into and see what is happening in the world. And then, of course, I have lots of sisters who are very protective over me and who love me very much. And I'm very grateful to them. And when it comes to the business end of things, so I used to just bless people when I was helping people heal, or if somebody needed me, they would call me and go, Hayley, please, can you help me? I need da 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 da. And I'd be, oh, absolutely, I'll send you healing, and da 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 da. And I would just not even charge for it. And then, of course, I had sisters, and they go, well, Hayley, look how you love. You need to make money. You don't have any. And I would really love hand to mouth, and not really see anything wrong with that. And just like be, yeah, but you don't have this, you don't have policies, you don't have this. And I'd be like, oh, yeah. And then like started to like feel into, okay, maybe I should charge. And then I started charging, and very little, because I always feel I come from a community that is impoverished. And how do you charge a huge amount of money? And then the majority of the people cannot afford that. Like, that for me was just not okay. But then you also have bills to pay, and you also need to eat, and you also, I'm always conflicted. Still today, I am conflicted by this paradigm in my life. Finances have always been, and then with my husband, he's an accountant. And so he's like looking at me going, darling, like, you are so gifted, and you basically just give it away. You're like, you need to eat. You think they don't have? They have. And you are like living like this. And yeah, I know I'm jumping over a lot of things, but so it comes home to my heart knows it's here to serve. And in all honesty, right now, I am not doing that. I am not serving. Right now, I'm earning. And for me, that's two different things. Because when you are earning, there is fear, there's desperation, there's all these other feelings that goes hand in hand with paying bills. But when you are serving in absolute faith. You're serving because it is the biggest part of your heart. And it is just like, it's, for me, feels like the right thing to do. It just is a match made in heaven. End of story, mic drop. Because the other way, which is the socially conditioned, is you need to earn money. You can only earn money by working hard, by da. Right. When you are fear-based, and I know this to be true for myself, and I'm only speaking from my own perspective. When I'm like that, and I'm going, oh my gosh, I need clients, I need to pay my bills, I've got this coming up, my car needs to be fixed. Oh my God, that's enough to turn any client away, because your energy is turning them away. So we create these high ticket events, and I'm not saying that, sorry, I know your eyes, but I'm speaking into for myself. So me creating a high ticket event means I am excluding the majority of the sisters that I love and adore, and I am putting it out there and saying, what about myself? What am I saying? I am saying, well, if you can't afford this, then I'm so sorry, but you know what, this is what it is. And not speaking against anybody who does it, or that they are, everybody's on their own journey. I'm just speaking about my journey and where I am at with that. So yes, okay, my highest ticket event or thing that I do is my toxic cell memory release healing. But the reason I charge that amount is because I also have landed up in hospital because of what I do. And then it doesn't even cover my hospital bill. And I'm talking, I have medical aid, but it doesn't even cover, I still have to pay, and it doesn't even cover what I have to pay in. So when I'm doing a one-on-one session with somebody, they don't have to choose that. But people love a one-on-one session because, yes, it is far more. There is just a lot more that happens in a one-on-one. But they can still get the toxic soul memory release healing in my 999 soul adventure, and get me for 21 days where I'm traveling with them and helping them rebirth and supporting them through that process, teaching them tools, etc. So, and that most people can afford, and they can also pay it off. So there's almost like I make it as easy, and then there are people who can't afford it, and I will bless them. So that is more for me heart-centered than doing like something that is really, really expensive. No, actually, I do have my shamanic unveiling, which is a high-ticket event. So
there's a difference between knowledge sharing, which is what you and I do. I very much see as teachers, but as we go forward, we share the knowledge rather than teaching. It's a very different heart-to-heart exchange. But if you are sharing knowledge, I don't think that ever becomes a high ticket offer. It just becomes a fair energy exchange for the knowledge and wisdom that you've got. But I really feel you. It's that walking that strange paradigm, the materialism to the love, ego to fear, whatever we want to call it, 3D to 5D. It's having enough to live on without being greedy. And maybe that's our conditioning from where we've come from previously, but it's about working from your heart and not becoming inaccessible to the people who need us. That is of service. And the second you shift that mindset away from, God, I need to pay all my bills, to I'm going to be of service today, and today I will be of service to these people who need me, that's when I feel the flow really comes back in. So high ticket offer, I think for me, are the ones that are really in your face, that are always in social media. It's so many thousands of pounds to work with me and do this and do that and do the other, but none of them ever appeal to my heart. None of them are ever a heart to heart connection. You need to work with people who have that heart to heart connection.
Yeah. I feel like there's somebody for everybody, and for those who do the high ticket, there are people that's playing a match, because we all participate in that. We all have soul family who've agreed to participate in this journey and who will sign up for the high ticket event. And this perpetuates more high ticket events, correct? So if it's working, then beautiful. And not to say that there's no value to those high ticket events. It's just that it just doesn't allow people who may really, really need it to be part of that experience. So it's the exclusion, and it's almost another system. And so anything that's a system, I think that there's something wrong with it. There's some form of imbalance.
Yeah. It's playing back into the patriarchal system of you must make money, whereas when we're of service, eventually, as I see as moving into different ways of different living, the community will have the community healers, and the exchange may not be for physical cash. It may be for your time. It may be that someone comes and mends something for you. It's a very different flow of energy, but it's that flow of love. And for me, excluding anyone from my services is very difficult, because actually I find the people who have stayed with me, who have been really loyal and followed and come with me, are the people who can't always pay the really high ticket offers, but they will turn up to everything that they can do, and they will give me their support. And that for me is more valuable than any money that anyone gives me. It's the fact that someone sees us for who we are and supports us, and I'm often our biggest cheerleaders. Without knowing.
Absolutely. And just the love, man. The love for me is everything. Like I would not give a flying hoot about anything else other than that I have such incredible relationships with sisters. I've always been here for the girls, and I'm here for a few brothers, but the brothers are few and far between, because I think I'm such an activist for women. And I just love sister circles, sister anything. I'm just a slut for sisters. I just love it goes back to the witchy thing, I think, it goes back to, okay, we're going to band together again, girls, don't worry, let's do it. So, and this time, and it's always love, it's always to heal the planet, it's always to be light. And I know, what, I actually read something on your thing about the light and love, the light and love brigade. It's like something that you said, and I thought that was so interesting. And I was going to say to you, I'm the love and light brigade. It was, I don't know, you said something about, I think the shadows, and then I'm trying to remember now.
Oh yeah, I remember I was very much talking about, because I'm very deeply Scorpionic, so although I'm an Aries, I've got a lot of planets in Scorpio, so I often see the undercurrents of what's truly going on. And there's a differential between the Love and Light Brigade, who are, oh, everything's fabulous and amazing, and I'm doing this to create money and jumping on the spiritual bandwagon. And then there was someone like you, who I would regard as a heart-led leader, as someone who is connected into source, but I connect to you on a heart-to-heart energy level. You're not, kind of.
I was like, oh my God, I'm like the life of the life brigade.
Love and Light Brigade very much are the jumping on the spiritual bandwagons because it's cool and because everything's fine, and they'll spiritually bypass what's going on with you in your physical body, your mental body. You and I are very much of the heart-led. We will see through the structures, see kind of what the gold underneath. So I didn't mean to offend you. God, a podcaster for guests.
No, you absolutely you didn't. I was just like, oh, I should raise that with her and just check, like, what I think I'm on the love and light brigade.
But you're something a lot deeper, a lot deeper. It's
Oh,
not.
you're just sweet. I think you just love me. And
I
so
just want to give you a cuddle, basically, but
I
or several
do.
thousand.
I want to do the same with you. And I think when we connected, it was also with our both being Aries. And I think Aries people love Aries people. There is such a massive love affair. It's like we just get each other. Maybe other signs do as well. But just because we are sun signs, in such a, we're so bright in that, and really just go-getters. And if something doesn't work, then that's fine. Move on to the next thing. And it's like, and we're always excited, and always, I love being Aries. It's such a, I've always claimed it and owned it, and just, you know,
I think it's so important to really own it. I mean, we are the start of the zodiac, aren't we? We are the innovators. We are the ones who are here to rebel and shake up and have that fiery courage. And if you look at my chart, actually my chart, basically she has the fiery courage. She takes the pin out the hand grenade, throws it, and carries on walking.
That's so typical.
A lot of fire and a lot of Scorpio.
Yeah, it's great that you've got that water, that balance, the fire and the water. That's amazing.
And for me, it really helps in my work as well, because I often see the shadow aspect of people, and I don't think we should gloss over that. I see beneath the surface. I see the true energetics running underneath, and we could be
you're
reading
blessed that way.
like bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh
no,
that's
not me. You're way ahead, because I don't. It's so interesting, because I actually am not like everybody goes, oh, but you're psychic, you can see about, can't you tell that person? And I go, no, because I need to have the experience. I need to learn lessons and have those challenges like everybody else. So no, I'm not psychic for myself. And I will take you at face value. Like I said, I'm gullible. I will take you at face value. I will believe what you say until you prove yourself to be different. And until that moment, you have to literally stab me in my third eye before I go, oh, everybody around me will go, oh, Hayley, I don't know. I wouldn't trust that person. Like, no. And I'll be like, oh, no shame. No, she's fine. Like, I only feel the love, and I did it. And they'll go, no. And I'll have people who, and they'll be right, and and that person will stab me in the back or in the third eye, like I said, and then I'll be devastated, and I'll be like, oh my God, how did I not see that? Like, I don't. And
we're all here with different gifts and talents, aren't we? We're all here to experience life differently, to see things differently, and I think it's a real female thing as well. We see the good in everybody. And I'm like you, there are certain situations I've been in. I've been, oh, it's fine. I've been like, oh my Lord, no, they're not. And it's been 6-7 months down the line, and you're like, oh, why did I not see that? But again, that's a lesson. It's a soul contract, isn't it? It's something that we have to learn and move through.
Absolutely. Well, there's a lesson in everything, and then that's fantastic. Grateful for that. Grateful for the lessons and the love. So yeah.
The next time I write a post and say love and light brigade, I'm going to tag you in. That's my lesson. And say, hey, I don't mean you.
Thank you. You don't have to do that. I will read it and I'll go, she doesn't mean me. Like, no. Have you heard of the galactic signature?
No.
Oh, there is.
Come on. Let's tell everybody about the galactic signature.
Yes. Okay. So the galactic signature. So this came into my experience a few years ago. Probably like, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And some of my sisters were like, oh my God, Hayley, we have to work out your galactic signature. And you can go to 13moon.com and just Google decoder, like 13moon.com decoder. And then you can decode what your galactic signature is. You're going to be so fascinated by this. So I'm white rhythmic dog. And I mean, listen, the others are all like, I don't know, like, geez, I can't think of any now, but it's like white cosmic skywalker and things like that. So, and I'm like, I'm white rhythmic dog, and they're like all these other cool things, but it made total sense. So white rhythmic dog is just here to love. It's loyal, it's all those things, and balance. I'm here to equalize, organize, and balance. And those are all the things I am not, when we were talking about finances and talking about how to charge, this is all things that wobble, you know. And so that's my learning. But the dog, the white dog, is just here to love. And that is it. So, but it's so beautiful in how they express it in the calendar. So you should really check that out, because you Aries as well.
I'm Aries, so I will do that, and under the show notes I will put where people can find you, and I'll put the 13moon.com as well for anyone else who wants to
Yeah, oh, it's so, it just gives insight, and it gives you galactic insight. So it's beautiful. It's beautifully written, and yeah, you just, there's about your tone, and I'm rhythmic, and that is so me. Everything is vibrational for me. So it's everything about, like, I would just, even when I taste with a rhythm. There's a, I don't know how, I don't know how to express it, but yeah, you like, you when you're eating and you have, like, it's, I can only say, like, when you're eating cheesecake and you're just having that moment and it's on your tongue and you just like, and it pours and there's a symphony that happens. That's how it is.
Yeah,
That's how it
get
is.
that. I'm
Yeah.
known for taking truffles out of the box and taking ages to eat them, because so I can experience every single part of the chocolate.
I hear you, girl. I hear you. I hear you.
I get so annoyed. It's like, will you just eat that Ferrero Rocher? No. Oh, Hayley, it's been so wonderful to connect with you today.
Yeah.
Do you have any last words of kind of guidance? How can people, if they want to connect into spirit and live the life that you do, what kind of advice, where would they start? Last bit of advice to anyone listening to live.
I would say, you know, start by observing yourself and what is not working in your favor. So when you're observing yourself, you're gentle with yourself. Watch when you're communicating to somebody, see what, because we are powerful creators, and so everything we say, we do, that is creating the next moment for us. And so how are you powerfully creating the next moment? What are your words? Are they speaking from a space of love or fear? And pause so that you can, when somebody is going at you and going, you never did, blah, 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 just pause. Allow them to say what they need to say. You don't have to jump right in. Pause, and instead of reacting to that, respond gently. Or if you cannot in that moment, walk away and just say, I'll get back to you, and walk away. Take the peace that it's yours to have and create that peace for yourself. And then laugh a lot. Laugh a lot. Laugh a lot. Can we do something quickly?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so have you done your laughter yoga before?
I'm a yoga teacher. I've never done laughter yoga.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to just show you this one thing. Okay, so there's a couple of exercises you can do. So laughter yoga, it's little exercises. The paradigm is we fake it till we make it, because whether you are laughing for real and it's one of those big belly laughs, or whether you are faking it, your body physiologically does not know. So it still receives the benefit of the laughter. And laughter is an exercise. So you are massaging your intestines, you're massaging your muscles, are all, think about it, you're clamping, it's a workout, right? So, but it also sends endorphins to the brain and it makes you happy. So in the event that somebody's listening and they've been feeling a bit down and depressed and a bit low or sad, I just want to like share something. So stand in front of a mirror and look at yourself, because if there's nobody there to do this with you. And in India, they mix milkshake from glass to glass. So imagine you're holding two glasses. There's milk in the one with a bit of cocoa or whatever, and you're going to pour it from one glass to another. Okay, and on the fourth pour, you're going to then drink the milkshake, and you're going to laugh when you drink. Okay, because that's how they do it in India. So
you made me snort now.
Well, only if it goes up the wrong way, Lexi. Okay, so we are going to go. So we're making a sound when we are pouring it from glass to glass, and it goes like this. So just stand in front of the mirror, look at yourself, and you're going to go, eh, 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 eh. Okay, it's that easy. I'm so easy. So, okay, take your glass. Let's go. Let's do it.
Already.
Okay.
Apologize to the listeners because I'm now crying with laughter.
It's so funny, and it's great when you're crying, because when you're crying, it's cathartic, and so you're releasing some trauma in your being.
Yeah.
So, and it's really, really amazing. It really, really is amazing.
That is the best way we have ever ended a podcast. I'm going to put all Hayley's links in the show notes. Hayley, thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I love you so much. And thank you so much for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. And I hope you've all really, really enjoyed the episode today. And I'll be back with a new episode very, very shortly. Sending you all so much love. Take care.